Sup, cuz? How are you? I'm okay. I'm good. It's my birthday. Yay. It's been a fine day, I guess. Just okay. I honestly started the day feeling fairly low and just sort of like a little bit sad. Just a little bit alone in the world. And I caught myself. I was like, okay, this is the Omer. This is like the challenge. Every single day we're going to be challenged for the next, I guess it's about 46 or 47 more days now. So after Passover, there's this window of time called the Omer where you're tested on a daily basis. And this is like accelerating your soul correction and soul growth so that you can expand your consciousness and so that you can attract more blessings in, and so that you can sort of ground all of the light that we received from Passover. I was trying to think of an example yesterday, and I said it's sort of like if you receive too much light and you don't earn it by like creating the vessel to hold it in, then the vessel will break and chaos will come of all of that like energy. So you have to build the vessel. Like for instance, if you want more money, you have to build the vessel by like getting another job or like getting a raise or like working more hours. Like you have to put the work in so that you can like receive something like a channel to receive something. So we were talking about how you get all of this like light up front during the open window in Passover, but in order to not create chaos, you have to be tested for 49 days, like rigorously. And so yesterday I was like, it's kind of like when you get the free trial of HBO, but then you have to like start paying for it. But I thought of another one. I was like, it's kind of like when you get the big free lunch, but it's like you have to endure the timeshare presentation. So yeah, that's a great example. So I caught myself and I was like, okay, so this is the challenge of today. It's like, don't be a victim, don't be a martyr, don't feel sorry for yourself. And I was just like wallowing in it. I really was. And I was trying to sort of like just buck up and get over it. And I really couldn't. And it was like, I don't know. It was so weird because I don't know. It just felt like nobody was really like that into my birthday. Like they were just like, oh yeah, maybe we'll stop in. And I was kind of sad. I was like, I feel like nobody cares. Like I mean, I'm not asking for like a parade, but I mean, it just feels like, should I just cancel? And I was like, you know what? No, this is the challenge. I'm going to go out. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get into a better mood because I was in fear, lack, and doubt. And, you know, we've been talking about don't take any actions from a state of fear, lack, and doubt because whatever you touch will turn to poison in that state. And so I was like, man, I'm like really not getting over this mood. And I went out for a run and that usually like gets me out of the mood. And I was like literally almost back to the house and my endorphins had not kicked in yet. And I was still just a crust. And I was like, I've got to get in a better mood because I'm going to go into work and then I'm going to have like a terrible night at work if I take this mood in there. So I don't know. Somehow by the time I got into work and started the shift, I was able to turn the mood around. But I think that's a big win and that's a big deal. They talk about it in Kabbalah is that if you can if you can be shitty all day, but if you can just turn it around before you go to bed, like, and end the day on a high note, then it makes a huge difference. Because every night in our sleep, our soul goes to like the astral realms and there's sort of like a mini judgment day. It's like you kind of get like a review on how you were every single day. And you go through like a cleansing process during your sleep. And you can only get there if you're in like a deep sleep, like you go into the dream state, into the REM state. So that's why like getting good quality sleep is very important because you need that soul wash every night. Yeah. So if you can end the day, then that's a win that you don't have to like stand before the courts and answer for, which is good. So I'm glad I ended the day well. And so then my night went really well. I had like easy tables, just a few, still ended up making like a lot of money. And yeah, I actually did better at opening bottles of wine tonight, and I wasn't such a spaz. Like, I've been telling you guys recently that I'm just like such an embarrassment. Because I'm just not like, I'm not super super graceful at opening bottles of wine at a table. I mean, you're like holding them in midair. You can't set them down. And so then the other day, one of my managers was like, hey, you need to use a serviette when you're pouring the wine. And serviette is like this folded napkin. But I wasn't like really super clear on like where the serviette is supposed to be like placed during the pouring. So then it's just like that threw a wrench in my game for like a whole shift or two where I'm trying to incorporate the serviette. But like it's throwing me even more off, and like the tables are like, this is the most painful thing we've ever been through. And I just like it's coming unfolded, and I'm just like, this is getting worse. But tonight I used the serviette and I was able to pull it off, and it was a big win. So I had a couple of tables that ordered bottles tonight, and I did not embarrass myself, so that was nice. Just every day I embarrass myself, so a day that I don't, I'm like, big victories. So yeah, it's totally Tuesday. And Tuesday is one of those days where we don't really have anything official planned like we do on some of the other days, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we do our extended readings, and Saturday we do the secret sermons for the secret teachings of Jesus. Sunday we do the weekly energy forecast. Thursdays is Thirsty Thursday romance reading. I'm kind of playing with the idea of doing like a manifestation reading. That's what we're going to do tonight, like a reading for our goals and our manifestations. But yeah, sometimes on Tuesday I just talk about like a random subject, which tonight I did want to talk about, like being able to pass those tests when they come up. Like just giving you an example of like what that looks like. It's like, okay, I see that I'm in a terrible mood. I'm trying to uplift myself out of this mood. Sometimes you can just choose a different feeling, but I was choosing a different feeling, but it still wasn't, really working. So I followed up. I did another activity that usually puts me in a better mood. Still wasn't working super well, so I just kept choosing until it really did turn around. My night did turn around. And it was mostly just, it wasn't by, the situation. It was just sort of like low key at the restaurant. Nobody was like particularly hilarious or fun tonight. Everybody was just sort of like suffering from allergies. So yeah, it was literally just by my own sheer will that I turned my mood around. And you can do that too. And it just takes practice. But I remember a time in my life where I didn't know that I had any control over my feelings. I didn't know that I could choose my thoughts or my feelings. I just thought I was at the mercy of like this horrendous like tape playing disastrous footage and horrible audio. And like the voices today were super mean. They were really convincing. And for a while I was really starting to get sucked in and believe them. But I was like, no, this is a trick. This is the opponent, a riot. Like whatever level you're at, you will have an equal force of resistance coming at you. So no matter how far you up level in this life, no matter how self-mastered you are, no matter how much self-control you have, you're always going to have resistance that equals like your strength. So never gets better, people. We just learn to endure, and we learn to foil our enemy. And foil I did today. So hopefully that helps you when you come up against a challenge and you feel triggered, over the next few weeks, or you feel like your back's up against a wall. We've had so many messages about just like needless worry, not to worry, things are fine. If anything, we've been, having messages that are like, hey, you're on the right track, stay on this path, just take your time and let it unfold. Naturally, don't push forward in a hurry. We're integrating, this completely new cycle, and we are showing up for life in a different way. And so in order for us to avoid the pitfalls of our patterns that we play out when we're on autopilot, we just have to slow down, which is like so frustrating for many of us. But yeah, that's good. It's good to slow down. and just let things integrate and take our time and make conscious free will choices. So let's pull some cards. Let's pull 4 cards for some advice about how we can best tap into our potential. What advice do we need, and what do we need to be aware of to get us further, closer to our goals, closer to calling in our manifestation, and what are the pitfalls and the self-defeating tendencies that we need to be aware of to overcome. Stay optimistic. Your dreams are coming true. Don't quit right before the miracle occurs. I love this. So it's like, yeah, everything we just said, stay optimistic. This is a period of testing. Things are supposed to get hairy on a daily basis for the next 40 something days. So buckle up, get ready for the turbulence. Don't worry about it. Just pretend it's a game. And it is kind of, I mean, just pretend like you're in your own video game like Mario. So yeah, we're on the right track. The dreams are coming true. It doesn't matter if we can't see evidence of it yet. Sometimes the test is to see if we can hold our belief in something even though we can't see it yet. We can have faith beyond reason, which is the highest level of faith, which is called emunah. It's not that we bury our heads in the sand and ignore reason or logic. It's just that we see the reasonable and logical explanation or assumption, and then we choose to transcend that because we're certain that even if we don't know the exact outcome that's going to happen, we know it's all going to fall into place for our favor as long as we keep holding that faith that it's going to happen. So it's like the double slit experiment in particle physics, where they discovered that just the observation of the particles affects the particles' behavior. So observe the things that you want to see more of, right? Stay optimistic. Observe that your dreams are coming true. All right. What else? I changed the light bulb in my lamp and it's like really dark, so I have to bring in like a whole nother light. Okay, break free. Try different ventures and experiences as a way to grow and learn. So don't stay in a stagnant or stale routine. Mix it up. Try new things. The thing about manifestation is that the more excited we are, the more engaged we are, the more enthusiastic and like turned on and passionate about something we are, the more the universe just starts like raining down on us all kinds of even, small unrelated manifestations. So get yourself in a state of excitement and adventure and curiosity and just be playful with life. I like that it makes sense that this is the mermaids and dolphins. Like dolphins are like super playful and like sensual and all that stuff. So and you kind of, the more you're in that kind of state, the easier it is for you to draw in your manifestations and the more in flow with life that you are. So yeah, I was definitely not in flow today when I was being a sado and a victim and a martyr. I was definitely not gliding at that point. All right, what else do we need to know? No. Soulmate relationship. What is that even doing in this deck? This is about soulmate relationship. New romance with a spiritual basis is here for you now. Ooh, very exciting. So maybe there's someone out there that you vibe with on multiple levels, and it's not just physical, but there's something that's really meaningful there. Yeah, it might be a little scary and intimidating, but just keep your heart open and take it slow. Like we were talking about in the other things, just like let it unfold naturally. Don't rush in, take your time. The universe, so relationships short circuit, just like relationship is like a channel for the light, right? When we are, we have the hots for somebody, when romance is like running wild, it's like, there's all this powerful light coming in, and it's very magical energy. And it's so powerful that it can get really chaotic. So if you rush forward and you don't build a solid enough foundation, or you don't like take your time and like build upon it gradually, that's when the short circuits happen. And that's how, you know, relationships just don't last, because you kind of like blow it all up front, let it fizzle out, and then you don't build the skills that it takes as a couple to like sort of like really learn like what is going to sustain that good stuff in the beginning for the long run. Like, I've been in relationships where all of that stuff stays for like years and years, and I think it could keep going. I just think it takes like each of the partners being willing to keep it fun. Like, it's so funny that like half of the relationships I've had are not because we didn't have the hard conversations. It was because like my partner, like, or like whoever, you know, any one of them was, just like got all uptight and like wouldn't have fun anymore, and they would like quit laughing, and they wouldn't like laugh at my jokes anymore, and they were just like like being a curmudgeon. And it's like, yo, what happened? Like, what went so wrong? So yeah, sometimes the hard work of a relationship is just keep fucking, keep having fun, like keep going on dates. Like, that's not so hard. It just like have fun together, just like the dolphins. We were just saying how playful and sensual they are, and look at this dolphin hug. I mean, I'm jealous. I want to be up in that. The ribbon dance. The ribbon dance of life. Looks like ribbons or something all up in that water. Grody. Oh, I was going to say a word, but I decided not to. Okay, contemplation time. Bukkake. Spend time alone, meditating upon what you truly desire. So I'm like the happy hermit. I don't know. Some people are a bit afraid to be alone with their thoughts for too long. I think it's because we don't like the voices that come up in our head, obviously, like the ones that were playing in my head today. So a lot of people stay busy all the time so they can avoid those, instead of just learning the skills of like how to turn that volume down, or like how to be like, okay, talk to the hand, because like we're just not going to deal with that anymore. So it's good to make a practice of doing just that, of quieting the mind, of meditation. Some people cannot sit still and meditate, and well, I mean, like you could, but you just don't want to like make yourself have the self-discipline to do it, because it's not easy for anybody at first. But then after you practice, you're like, oh, it actually is not so hard to just sit here in a restful state and breathe. People are like, I cannot sit still. I'm like, well, you sit still and you're like watching TV. It's basically the same. You're just going into a trance. So yeah, but if you absolutely can't live, if you have to sit still for like 10, 15 minutes in silence, and it's like you don't, like, if your mind is like still monkey minding, it's fine. Just like keep breathing, try to like get back to what you're, clearing your thoughts, and it gets easier over time. And so you don't have to think that you have to do it perfectly the first time. But also, I love running and doing meditations with my runs, or like going on really long walks through the woods and just like strolling around in the labyrinth behind my house. And I get into like this meditative trance back there too, and all kinds of like downloads come through, and I just feel great afterwards. But spending time alone is really, really, really good for you. It's really good because you're not being influenced by anybody else's energy. So your kind of energy field is clear, and you have time to really choose what you want to like dream about, what you want to think about, what you want to visualize. All right, you guys. So stay optimistic, try different things, be open to meeting someone new that might be a soulmate relationship where you have a really deep spiritual connection, or maybe it's somebody you already know. Maybe somebody you've already been thinking about, but you weren't sure. Lots of cards recently talking about soulmate relationships, or like this could be the one, or calling in the soulmate, or whatever. And, these cards are very like general, so it doesn't necessarily mean like, you don't take it like, take it with a grain of salt. So it just means that like, this is worth exploring. You have to see how it goes. It's one day at a time, one text at a time, one phone call at a time, one hang at a time. But it's worth exploring. There are plenty of cards that can be like, no, leave, turn around, walk out, walk the other way. There haven't been saying that. So no need to worry. expect the tests are coming. Stay optimistic. Try new things. Spend time alone meditating. Daily meditation practice. And yeah, break free from your patterns and try new things and keep it fun. Keep it fun and adventurous. All right, y'all. I'm going to go party tomorrow for my birthday. And I'm really excited. And yeah, I'll probably do my video tomorrow afternoon because I try not to drink in video. It's dangerous. I have a couple of times and I just feel like it's probably a bad idea. Well, all right, y'all. Be good, but not too good. Ciao.